BBC says there's an indictment in the Georgia case for Trump that's going to come out tomorrow. But then, I this is kind of wild. They had this. It was I guess a Reuters reporter who had tweeted originally and then deleted it, that like they had posted somehow that Georgia had filed the charges and that it was up, and that the document was posted on the Fulton County, Georgia's website, and they said it was removed. And so the reporter, John Krusell, and it took our contributor over at Chapter and Verse, Lorraine, like 2 seconds to find the Reuters guy. John Krusell tweeted, "Out of an abundance of caution, I've deleted a tweet about a possible Trump indictment that was based on a colleague's reporting as we await further information." Wait, so you just tweeted it while you were waiting for information? Really? Seriously. I just feel like this is kind of clownery. Kind of. I mean, I could say a lot more, but right now, let's keep it above board. Wow. So they waited, again, about the indictment. Why would and the other thing is, isn't the way that I understood it, it was ongoing, and I thought the lieutenant governor was supposed to be testifying like today or tomorrow or something, which was weird. So I guess it makes sense for the BBC to say that it would be coming down tomorrow. But look, here's the problem with so much of this stuff. Everybody want to rush to be first. And it's one thing if you're going to run to be, it's one thing to be first, with the media, it's not really, I don't even think it's really, because of the way that social media operates, is it really important to be first anymore? Because it seems like accuracy is sacrificed in the rush to be first, number one. But number two, because of how stories go viral and are amplified and how developments work now, I don't even know if it's as important to be first as it used to be. But this is just, you got to be correct. It doesn't matter if you're first, if you're not right. They weren't even done with the grand jury testimony. Like, apparently one of them didn't something say there was like a RICO violation? Come on. What did you say? Yeah, that was one. That's what I read, right?
That's what I read in the Reuters piece.
Yeah. John Krusell tweeted, "Georgia charges Trump with," they get screenshots. Screenshots live forever. "Georgia charges Trump with violation of state RICO Act."
Yeah.
Again, the jury hasn't even they haven't even voted on it. And I thought the lieutenant governor was testifying like today or tomorrow. Like, I haven't been covering all of this to the nth degree, partly because I think so much of it's a freak show and is just theater. And also partly because y'all are tired, right? You want to talk about corn dogs and stuff like that. And you want to talk about fun stuff. And you want to kind of a little break. I get it, because we all do. And I only update you if crazy stuff happens, like today. But I've been keeping an eye on it. And I thought that it was going to be the lieutenant governor that was going to be testifying like today or tomorrow. So that would make sense, I guess, if they voted on it tomorrow. But the RICO thing, because the document, so apparently the document was actually posted online. And it was taken down. So and again, we're all learning this literally just now. So they post the charges and then take them down before the grand. How does Kane?
I know. Well, according to this piece, they said it's a 2-page document that cites the violation of Georgia RICO Act, the solicitation of violation of oath by public officer, conspiracy to commit false statements and writings, and conspiracy to commit forgery in the first degree. Those are now 4 indictments.
But how can they come up with it when they still have people testifying today?
Exactly. And don't they have to, once they've all agreed on whatever the statement from the grand jury is, don't everyone in the grand jury, don't they have to sign off on that?
Yeah,
like,
I think so.
I haven't seen that either.
I believe so. I mean, I just don't know how this gets. I think everybody else is still like kind of reacting to how this gets in and how it doesn't, or how this goes without the grand jury even. No, I'm just very. I got like a million questions on this. It sounds like they wanted to rush and get out a narrative.
Yeah, like a guilty until proven innocent sort of thing.
So, are they? I know I keep saying this. I'm thinking here because this literally just is all just posting. If this, okay, so let me ask like this. Do you think it's accurate and that this is what they're going to, regardless of whether or not you think it's merited, do you think that this is what they're going to run with? What they're going to charge him with? Regardless, again, I'm not asking for you to measure accuracy. Are they just trying to hurry and get the script right, is what I'm wondering.
I mean, that's what it looks like.
How is this a RICO charge? And all we have are screenshots right now. We haven't read it. But the case, this is the, I'm going to throw this over to Juan. For those of you who are watching the simulcast, so you can get some screenshot deliciousness here. Yeah, they pulled the docket report. And the screenshots. So here are the, oh, geez. Yeah, it has the violation of Georgia RICO. That's the Racketeer Influenced and Corruption Organizations Act. Solicitation of violation of oath by public officer, conspiracy to commit impersonating a public officer, conspiracy to commit forgery in the first degree, conspiracy to commit false statements and writings, conspiracy to commit filing false documents, conspiracy to commit forgery in the first degree, false statements and writings, filing false documents, solicitation of violation of oath, again, false statements, right, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. RICO, though. Okay, so if the grand jury isn't done hearing the evidence, I don't know how this works. Is that grounds for dismissal? I'm curious about this.
They don't want to dismiss this.
That's the other thing. I would imagine that they wouldn't want to do something so stupid to get something dismissed or to have something be considered invalid or struck because of a technical violation, right? But the left gets sloppy. Here's one thing that you can trust about the left. When they get over their skis, they get very, very sloppy. And again, if you're just joining us, this is wild because apparently and they deleted it. It was Reuters first. They posted about charges from the Georgia grand jury and said that he was being charged and that it was an indictment, but an indictment wasn't handed down. And apparently there are still people who are, because I had read that the the lieutenant governor people were still testifying basically today or tomorrow morning. And the expectation was that it was going to be this week. BBC said that it was going to be tomorrow, which I guess would make sense because after, testifying, then, you could have people, then they would vote on it. But how it gets out now is just wild. Woo! So that's what's happening. And then they pulled it. That's the other thing. They pulled it. So after they published it, then they pulled it. Okay. So there you go. Whew.
Notice it says case is open and the file date is today.
Just sloppiness.
Just so odd.
Just sloppy. Yeah. It's incredibly odd. I mean, or maybe they're magical. They can actually know what the grand jury's going to vote, Kane. And they just wanted to go ahead and get ahead of it. We know what they're going to vote, so we'll just put this up. Because they haven't voted on it yet. The grand jury have to cast votes on these charges before you can actually file the indictment. So you can't say the grand jury you're indicted by the vote of a grand jury. So you can't hand out the indictment if they're still hearing testimony and they haven't voted. That's the thing. So I don't know. This whole thing is weird. We're going to... Georgia we knew was coming, and some had said that Georgia could potentially be more serious for him, more of and I'm just telling you what people who are in the law, who actually even are predisposed towards Trump. I'm just telling you, they were saying that the way certain things are structured, Georgia might be more complicated for him, similar to kind of how a couple of the charges in the Mar-a-Lago with storage might be complications. But the way that this is going down is man. Also think like this. Could be on purpose. To get everybody mad, stoke rage, etc. I'm going to wrap myself in I've been around you too long, Kane. I want to wrap myself in tinfoil. You know, if I wanted to incite massive chaos, this is the type of stuff that I would do.
Yeah.
And then have everybody run amok in the streets and then be like, oh, I got to postpone having your votes cast for 2024 because everything's just too dangerous. I'm just saying. So always take things, always verify and question everything that comes out. So I'm just letting you know this is what's being reported now. This is just what came out now. So the RICO, briefly appears on the Georgia docket. So clearly it looks like they're going to slap him with a RICO charge. And posted and taken down. So we're going to have some of the latest up on the newsletter chapter and verse on Substack about this and try to run some of this down for you. But again, if you're just joining, apparently the district attorney's office in Georgia, Fulton County, apparently posted the grand jury indictment in Georgia online before the grand jury even voted. And then quickly removed it, but not before Reuters got it. So this is just wild.